I am Joe Lima, Princeton Capital, here with Thomas Feng of Bay Area Connect. Just wanted to give a little market update and some current events that are going on with the interest rates for the real estate market. As you may have heard, looking at the news, you've seen the recent debacle that's happening in Greece as far as their finances are concerned, and it's caused a drastic drop in the stock market. Well, generally speaking, anything bad for the stock market is going to be good for mortgage rates. So what happened over the past week and a half is a drop in about a quarter point for mortgage rates. What this means to you as a borrower, well, if you're on the edge as far as qualifying goes and you're looking to get that home that you've sought after, now may be the time to do it with a lower interest rate. You may be able to qualify for a larger loan amount. Some of the people that are on the fence as far as, I'm going to wait for mortgage rates to drop a little bit so I can get my payment a little bit cheaper. Now is the time to get into that. So those are some of the advantages of how the market is going right now with the current interest rates. So it's the best rates that we've had in a couple of years.
Awesome. Thanks for the update, Joe. Today we're going to talk about one of the many questions that home buyers do have when talking about loans. For many home buyers, when they do actually start looking at loans, the first question they ask is, what are your rates? Now this is a great question. However, when asking this question, always remember it's actually a two-part question. The second part you need to be asking is, what are these rates and what kind of points do they come with? So with us today to talk about points is Joe Lima. Joe, what are points and what do they do for a buyer?
Well, interest rates are going to be issued in a couple different ways. One's going to be what the market is giving, and that would be at a 0-point cost. There would still be title and escrow and typical closing cost fees associated, but there would be no actual point to pay to get that interest rate. Now, a point is going to be a percentage of the loan amount that the buyer is getting. So for a $300,000 loan, paying 1 point would mean that the buyer is paying $3,000 extra in closing costs to obtain whatever rate that they're looking for. Typically, a point will get a buyer about 1/4 to 3/8, so from 0.25 to 0.375 lower in interest rate. So someone today is looking at something around a 5% at 0 points, they may be able to get a 4.75 with a 1-point cost.
I see. So from what you just said, Joe, points are basically a way to buy a lower interest rate.
Correct.
Pretty much you're putting up money up front so that your interest rates and payments will be lower in the long run. So other than this, Joe, what are some additional benefits of buying points?
Yeah, well, there's three main benefits of buying down the interest rate to get a lower rate. The first would be over the long term of the loan, you're going to definitely save some money. So if you're paying that initial $3,000, like we use in our example, to save tens of thousands of dollars in the long haul, you're going to see that in your return over the long term of the loan. So that's important in itself too, is to maintain that loan for a long period of time if you're going to pay a point. So you kind of have to look into your future, what plans you have to make sure that you're going to receive that benefit. Secondly, is when you pay that point, you get a lower interest rate, so you're going to have a lower monthly payment. So typical on a $300,000 loan, just using 6% as an example, your payment would be $1,799. If you bought down, paid 1 point, got it to 5.75, your payment would drop to $1,751, saving $48 a month. So you got to look at the payback period off that investment as well. But for cash flow purposes, you'd have a lower monthly payment. Third advantage, again, you'd have to consult with your CPA on this one, but points are a tax deduction or able to be written off when you do go and file your taxes. So you'd be able to use that to your advantage when it comes to tax time as well, to pay that $3,000 that we use an example, or the 1% of your loan amount. And again, I'm using 1% as a loan amount to keep it simple, but there could be a time where you pay half a point to get a little bit lower, or 3/4 of a point, or it just depends on the situation for the buyer.
Right,
so
right.
It can make it to their benefit.
Awesome. Well, with these three advantages, it really helps to increase the amount of money you save and also increase the cash flow per month. With all these advantages, Joe, are there also any disadvantages with points?
Yeah, well, nothing's 100% perfect, so there are going to be a couple disadvantages that do come with paying that point up front. One would be, obviously, paying that money and coming to escrow with the extra $3,000 or the percentage of the loan amount that you're going to be using. Just having that come out of pocket for it. Secondly, like I kind of mentioned a little bit earlier, is you should be in that loan for the long term. And if you're in it for a short term, if you know, hey, I'm only going to be at this property for a year, paying a point might not be the best option for you. It's always good to sit down with your loan officer and have them take a look at your investment for the point. If you're paying the $3,000 and it's saving you $100 a month, then it takes you 30 months to gain that money back. So if you know that you're going to be in that property, or at least plan on being in that property, at least 3 years or longer, then paying a point could be a good advantage for you, because after that 30th payment, you'll start to see those straight savings. So if you're in there for the short term, paying a point might not be the best option for you.
Right, I see. So while all these advantages and disadvantages, it really is beneficial to you, the buyer, to really sit down with your loan agent and also possibly a CPA to really look at your finances and determine what is best for you in your situation. So with this week, we looked at points and how they may be beneficial to you, the buyer. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them right under the video or to shoot us an email at thomas.feng@bayareaconnect.com. Well, thanks a lot for watching this week, and have a great week. Thank you.